Okay, got another quick tutorial here for this part. And what this is a ceiling lighting sconce that I saw on the back stairwell of a double-decker bus in London. So I just figured it's kind of a neat little surfacing challenge to try out. You can see there it kind of blends in with the overall ceiling, but it kind of has this dip in the backside that then comes out and meets the rest of the ceiling here. So yeah, we'll just dive right into it. This is what we're going to end up with, and we'll go step by step. So you can see here, we've got a section of the ceiling, and then I've kind of got this blended lighting sconce. So the light would be installed in the backside here, and it kind of gives this nice shape. So we'll just start from scratch. What I'm going to do here is I'll go to the front plane, I'll hit N. Just going to adjust the window here a little bit. There we go. And we'll add a line. So L for line, bring that up. We'll add a point up here to the midpoint of this this line here. So what we're doing there is we're just hovering over this line roughly in the midpoint until that orange square comes up, and that means that we're locked on the midpoint. And we'll drag that to the origin. So now we've got this line that's its midpoint is locked to the origin. Okay, and I'll hit L again to make a line, and I'll hit Q to make construction geometry. We'll give that an angle of 25. We'll give this a length of 210. And then we'll come down here and drop down a length that is 65. And this is just going to be our sort of ceiling section surface. So I can select these two. Again, if we click and drag up and to the left, we get a select all inclusive. So anything in that box will be selected. If we drag down and to the right, we get a selection that has to fully wrap around the item that you want to select. So those are the two differences in the selection tool there. Yeah, and we'll hit Shift E here to bring up the extrusion, symmetric. Make sure that we're in surface, and then we'll do 400 millimeters here. That's looking pretty good. And now what we want to do is we want to make our hole cutout for the sconce. So we'll go to the top plane, we'll hit N to bring us normal to it. Sketch, and then we will add a circle here. So we can either hit the circle or we can just hit C on the keyboard, and we'll draw a circle. We'll hit D for dimension. Again, the button's up here if you need it. And we'll give this a size of 130 millimeters. And then what we want to do here is we want to highlight that circle, Shift D again for extrude, we'll hit symmetric, and we want to just pull this until it's intersecting with the entire surface of the ceiling point that we created. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hit split up here. We're going to choose, we want to split this surface, and we want to split it with this. So that'll split it. We don't want to keep the tools, and we don't want to keep both sides. This actually, we wanted to select a surface on that extrude, not a solid. So this is just it'll act as like a trimming surface. And then we'll select that surface. So now that that surface is selected, it's deleting the tool that we've used, which was that surface, and it's deleting the section of the ceiling surface inside. I'm just going to add Shift F here, add a little fillet to this wall. We'll keep it at 20. All right, so now this is our ceiling. We're like looking up into it here. What we're going to do now is we're going to make a smaller sketch again on the top plane. and it's going to be another circle. And we'll give it a diameter of 100. So just slightly smaller than the 130 diameter circle that we used as the cut. And here what we're going to start doing is building out the guiding surfaces, or the guiding curves that we're going to use to generate our surface. So what we want to do now is we want to go over to the back side here, hit N, and we want to pull this curve onto the plane. So we'll select the curve and we'll hit U to project it onto the sketch plane, and we'll do the same with the circle sketch that we just made. Because what we want are these endpoints. So we want our curve that we're using to sort of blend down from this into this. And what I'm going to use to do that is this Bezier curve. And we're going to select that point. We'll select a point somewhere in the middle. We'll select a point horizontal to this point, and then we'll select that as our final point and hit escape. And so now we have this curve, and the end point here is constrained to be vertical. You can see that by hovering over top of it. You see the vertical constraint. And this is constrained to be horizontal. So you can see that there. If we hover over it, you see the horizontal constraint. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a nice tangent blend here between these 2 points. And we can give this a dimension of 10. We can give this a dimension of 18, just so everything's nicely dimensioned. And so now we've kind of got this guiding curve that we're going to be using to in a subsequent loft as a guide curve. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to join this midpoint. So you can kind of imagine here that we're going to have this surface that's wrapping around this backside, and then we're going to have the exact same surface wrapping around the front side. And that's only because we're split in the middle. If this was offset side to side, you'd have to generate each surface yourself. But I just kept things in the middle here to make things easy. It differs a little bit from what was in the wild, but I think you get the idea. So we'll sketch on this circular face. We will add a line from there. Actually, first what we need to do is we need to pull in this circle. So we'll hit U to pull that in onto the plane. We'll hit L again, and we'll draw a line from there to there. We'll draw a line also from here to here. And so now we've kind of got these guide curves that we're going to use in the loft as well. All right, and then we're going to make another sketch here. Sketch, and we're going to pull an arc. You can just press A, or you can use the 3-point arc tool up here. We're going to go here, here, and there. It's the same diameter as the circle we drew. It's just the semicircle, the half of it. And that's going to be our sketch 6. And we need one more sketch here to pull this all together. And all it is a sketch on this face. We'll go normal to it. It's a line bisecting that, and then it is this curve projected onto this sketch plane, and then I'll use M to trim the bottom half. So we end up with this kind of semi-ellipse, half an ellipse there. Okay, now we're ready to generate the loft. And all the loft is going to be is a loft that's created from here down to here with this curve we made here as a guide. You can see there that fills out nicely. And what the guide is doing there is it's saying, okay, that any point in the loft near that guide curve, it needs to follow that. And Onshape is blending it from end to end there. All right, so now we've got this half. And again, we can just rotate it about this axis here and pattern it into position on the other side. So let's do that. We'll create an axis by just going to the front plane, hitting N, sketch. We'll add a little circle here. And again, this is just something that I'm going to use to reference during a circular pattern. We'll hit part pattern. We'll select that surface. We'll hit the axis of the pattern. And we only want 2. Although we can get some pretty cool looking stuff with more. Maybe that's another video. There's 2 there. So now we got that looking nice. And these are our main surfaces, so we're pretty much done. What we want to do now is we want to Boolean these together. I don't keep tools when I'm Boolean unioning. And then what I want to do now is kind of add another little dip down. And so what we can do there is we can also fillet these to just add another nicer blend to the whole thing. And then what we can do is we can go onto the front plane, we can sketch, and we'll bring in this by hitting U. We'll do something like that. We'll give this an angle of 55 and a length of 10, say. And what we're going to do now is select this. We'll do Shift W to bring up revolve. We'll make sure surface is selected, and then we'll revolve it around that. And we'll hit add to add it to that surface. And again, we can blend it in with a little fillet there if we really want. That's way too big. Add a fillet of 2 millimeters. And that's basically us done. The last step is to thicken the whole thing. So we can thicken this entire surface. We'll give it a thickness of 5 millimeters there. We'll just say 3. And there you have it. There's your blended wall ceiling sconce. Now this here is a little weird. I think you could clean this up by sweeping a fillet path that transitions to a flat line here at these points. That might be something I explore in another version of this video. But yeah, for now I think that's a good demonstration of how to get some sort of similar effect of this wall sconce, ceiling sconce. This one's a little smaller and looks a little different. I did something different there with the part that juts out, but again, it's all pretty similar. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, just leave a comment and see what you'd like to see next. Cheers.